It was another productive day in the legal tampering window for the Miami Dolphins on day 2 of that. Guess what? They've added some safeties to the room. A guy that I love coming out of Cal and in that draft, Ashtyn has been signed. Another guy I really like if he can stay healthy, Ifeatu Melifonwu, he's been added to the room. They finally got a big body receiver opposite of Tyreek and Waddle. They brought some guys back, and Jevon Holland got paid somewhere else. We got a lot to talk about. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, let's get into this one.
Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it!
You have got to be kidding me.
Jaylen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown.
And he will score! Field down the near side, man open. Touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa.
Touchdown!
He's going deep. It's going over the touchdown again. Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go!
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. And we are back here for another one. First thing I want to do is shout each and every one of you out for showing support yesterday. We had over 900 people live when we went live for Zach Wilson news. And then we had over 800 people when we went live for the James Daniels news just a few hours later. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming through and showing support and doing the same again today. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. We are about 2,975 away from a 5-person giveaway at 20K. We blew past 17K. I want to thank all of you for that as well. So this is me taking a moment out to thank each and every one of you for supporting the channel the way you do. I like it. I like it. I like it. And I thank each and every one of you. So let's keep it going here. All right. Now we have a few things to talk about. Number one is this, all right? We have to talk about Jevon Holland. Jevon Holland, yeah, I know my mic was, actually, I forgot to put it up in front of me. It was down beside me. Jevon Holland ended up getting a deal from the Denver Broncos. That Denver Broncos deal, man, 3 years, $45 million. Sorry, from the Jets. What am I saying? The Denver Broncos. What am I on? Jevon Holland is a New York Jet. Jet. Now I'm saying Jets. He's a Giant. All right. I think I fixed it. Hold on. One more for good luck. All right. I think I fixed it. Jevon Holland is a Giant. For 3 years, $45 million, averaging out about $15 million a year. It's a little less than what Trevon Moehrig got, right? Trevon Moehrig came in around $17 million a year. Cameron Bynum, he came in around the same, which I thought he was going to get paid more than Jevon Holland. Cameron Bynum came in at a 4-year, $60 million deal, and obviously Hufanga came in at the same money as Jevon Holland. So, man, absolutely interesting to see how that safety market went. And then you got Jeremy Chin, 2 years, $16 million, $8 million a year. Andre Cisco, 1 year, $10 million. I'm telling you, that's a steal. The Jets made a good move with Andre Cisco. I'll give the devil their due with that. For 110%, I will give the devil their due. So, yeah. Hey, I mean, I guess shout out to the Giants. They made some moves this week, but Jevon Holland, $15 million a year. Yeah, I don't know. That's a little too rich for my blood. And you know what? I'm gonna say this is Jevon Holland. And this is what I'll say. This is what going into your business for yourself last season and never being the same since that Black Friday game against the Jets basically gets you. Right? Like that's basically what that gets you. Oh, we're going to talk about the comp picks. We're going to talk about everything. Guys, just sit back and enjoy the show. Huh? We're going to cover a lot of stuff in detail. So, yeah, but with Jevon Holland, I thought that was, the Giants. I mean, okay. Like, bro, you were better off taking 11 or 12 million in Miami. Do you know what the New York state tax is going to do to your $45 million contract, Jevon? All right? Like, that thing's about to take a big hit. A big hit. I lost a guy that I wanted, Mike Hughes, went back to the Falcons for 3 years. $6 million per, $18 million total. A guy I really liked, Michael Jackson Sr., he re-signed with the Panthers, 2 years, $14.5 million. Man, $7.25 million, sign me up. I know people want Asante Samuel, but I just don't get that he's going to want decent money, and he's a slot, Now, Darius Slay hasn't officially signed with the Steelers, so I'd be trying to, wiggle in there and see what he's getting. I mean, listen, people are going to say his age, but go look at him last year. He set a career high in pass breakups. Darius Slay was really good last year, man. Was really good. So these guys are going to end up throwing $2 or $3 million at Kendall Fuller. I swear to God, if Noah Benogany comes back, oh my Lord. So a lot of things going on in the NFL around the league today. It almost just doesn't feel like, it really almost doesn't feel like day one of free agency is tomorrow. It feels like it's legitimately day 3. Like this whole tampering window has totally taken the allure and the luster out of free agency, really. Now it's all about the tampering window. So I just... I don't know. I kind of wish it, because these guys are already tampering before that legal tampering window opens anyways. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves here. Who are we lying to? Like, who are we lying to? So, I thought Juwan Johnson got a really good deal too $10 million a year, a little over $10 million a year from the Saints. I thought that was pretty decent too. He's probably the top tight end on the market, and he went today. I like how Mac Hollins is now a Patriot. The guys went from the Dolphins to the Bills, and now he's a Patriot. Whew. Unbelievable. Good for you, though, I guess. Do your thing, boo-boo. Now, the running back, the running back situation, obviously Elijah Mitchell, he went, and that was someone who Alf talked about, who I thought made a lot of sense. Javonte Williams is gone. Najee Harris signed a 1 year, $5.25 million. Listen, I'm sticking here. The two guys that made my list were who? A.J. Dillon, and give me Nick Chubb. Someone offer Nick Chubb $2 or $3 million. Someone say, hey, Nick, here's $2-3 million. Come here on a 1 year deal. I'll give you incentives on top of it. Revitalize your career in Miami. You get that other guard. Man, I'm telling you. And I got to put this on wax and record, and y'all are going to be the first to hear it because I love my Phinside peeps the most, my Phinside fam. So I know people are asking me now, Reason, what do you think about the draft? And I had a conversation, me and EM Dolphin fan had a deep conversation about it last night. And this is my stance. This is what I told him, this is what I'll tell you guys. It's, especially now after some of the moves today, and we'll get into all of them in detail, it screams Kenny Grant, people. This screams Kenneth Grant. I've been letting my Patreons and my channel members know. I've been hearing this name consistently. You know, I've heard it from about like 8 different people over the last 2 months privately. And that's not even an exaggeration. 6 of those people are connected to the building in some way, shape, or form. I won't go any deeper than that. So, you know, and the other 2 people that they are people who are also have people that they're connected to, and they basically told me, yeah, I've heard the same thing. So I'm telling you, this continues to scream. Why were they all of a sudden not in on Jonathan Allen? These guys wanted to trade for this man last offseason. Me and Neil broke that story. I know Omar and other people tried to run with it like they started it, but me and Neil broke that story on this channel. Okay? So, like, we know how interested they were. Now, he obviously ended up getting $20 million, and that explains much. But why aren't they interested in any of the other top DTs? Like, Levi Onwuzurike, he was on my list. Why are we not making a move for that? Like, you know, I'm looking at this, and the way they filled the safety room today, they put themselves in a position where they're not forced to take someone at 13. So Malachi Starks and Nick Manwari, you know, you look at it that. I'm telling you right now, if you put a gun to my head and you said, yo, Reason, what are they doing at 13? I'm telling you, it's Kenneth Grant or Will Johnson. Like, that's pretty much what it screams to me right now. He thinks Will Johnson's going to fall because Will Johnson's not working out at his pro day. And I've heard privately for months they love Kenny Grant. And let's go back to take Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham and compare that to Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins. And you see a lot of parallels with the evaluation process and with the adoration for the player and what they're about. Very similar. And then you come out of the combine, the reviews weren't that great for Mason Graham pretty much around the league, to the point where Kenneth Grant has jumped Mason Graham on more than one team's board. So I'm sitting here, and I'm the sense I'm getting is, unless like Will Campbell falls to you at 13, that's the outlier. I think Will Campbell or Jahad Campbell, as this stands right now, are your 2 sleepers at that pick, with Will Campbell, or it could be Armand Membo, or it could be Kelvin Banks, but you get my point. A tackle that can play guard, because they need a left guard. I think Will Campbell would be the perfect guy. I think Kelvin Banks can play the left side. You can move Armand from the right side to the left side, but Armand will be gone. So I think it's going to be Will or Kelvin as that sleeper guard, tackle that can play guard pick. And then the sleeper I'd put just below that would be Jahad Campbell. Though I think 13 is a little too rich, unless you are a generational talent coming out, you know, like what we all knew Roquan was, and he was like the last inside Mike guy to go in the top 15. Unless you're generational, you know, so like Jahad's a guy you want to get in like the late teens or the early 20s. You know what I mean? Like that's the value for me, because you know I'm a draft value guy. That seems like the perfect fit. So I really honestly think this is Kenneth Grant or Will Johnson, with Kelvin Banks, Membo, or Campbell as that sleeper pick, the tackle that can play guard, and Jahad Campbell, or, you know, maybe even Jalen Walker as the linebacker sleeper pick underneath, because Jalen Walker can be a linebacker and offer you some edge ability, some pass rush ability. So that's how I would rank this right now. It really feels like they're gunning for Kenneth Grant or Will Johnson, and then right under that, that's where you start. That's where it's a tackle that can play guard or a linebacker. Like, that's the sense I'm getting right now as free agency is starting to play out only 2 days into legal tampering. So, you know, I think so. Bisha, why does I think the defensive tackle market in general isn't blowing up like they thought it would last, like it did like in previous years, right? You know, I mean, like, really, you know, Javon Hargrave, Grady Jarrett, they got paid. Tershawn Wharton, Jonathan Allen, Milton Williams, Osa, like those guys were, you know, Javon Hargrave he's expected to sign with the Vikings, but he hasn't signed yet. But like, that was the top of the class, right? Grady Jarrett got added to it. Jonathan Allen got added to it. Milton and Osa were already figured as the, two of the top guys. And Tershawn Wharton was considered like the high upside guy of the class. And then, look at BJ Hill. He re-signed with his team. You look at Jaron Reed. He re-signed with his team. And Javon Kinlaw, he no one thought he was going to hit the market. He went to the Commanders, right? Sebastian Joseph Day stayed in Tennessee, right? Adam Butler stayed in Vegas. Listen, I didn't think he would get massively paid anyways, right? Like, I'm pretty sure what was my projection on him? My projection on him, if I go back to my top free agents on him, was what? $4.5 million, and it could be all the way to $8.25 million, but it could even crack $10 million. So, Spot Track had him at $4.5 million. PFF had him at like $8.25 million. So, I think it's just all about the market right now, bro. That's it. He probably wants to. You know what? I wouldn't be shocked if they're doing if Detroit's trying to make it work. He probably wants to stay there. Like, let's be honest. With what they're building, he'll probably take a discount to stay there. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that they're working on behind the scenes. I personally haven't looked into him, so I couldn't give you like an educated answer of what's really going on. I can only speculate. All right. So, but man, I love it. Listen, I think Levi, I think Levi's a perfect fit too, bro. I really do. And here's the problem. Like, this is why I think you're not seeing the Dolphins jump at defensive tackle right now. Like, take my theory with Kenneth Grant out of the equation here, okay? They still think they might have a chance at Calais coming back. That's number one. And number two, even if you don't get Kenneth Grant, we've gone over the numbers. You had 40-plus defensive tackles invited to the Combine this year when, like, only 26 were invited last year. It's a very deep class at defensive tackle. And so I don't think they're in a rush. I think they look at that as a position where they don't need to spend a lot of money because they already have Seiler there, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I think they really like some guys in this class, and I've already mentioned one of them. So I think they're looking at DT as like, yeah, why, I'm telling you, them not pursuing Jonathan Allen tells you everything you need to know. But them pursuing Dre Greenlaw, that tells you also everything you need to know. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to tell you this right now. They've got an idea of what they want to do. And that's why listen, I'm going to do a show about it next week, exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't want to get too deep into this. But that, this is why I'm thinking linebacker. Like, there's a reason behind all of this stuff. Funny enough. But, I already, listen, let me tell you this much. After last night, I already know I already understand that that defensive vision. I already know what they're trying to do right now. I already can see it with the lack of pursuit on the back end, with pursuing a high end inside linebacker to pair with Jordan Brooks. What I just told you about what I think their draft strategy is, and potentially investing a 13th overall pick in Kenneth Grant. Yeah, I pretty much know what I pretty much know what they're doing. So, and I'm gonna do a show on it. So, all right, because hint. All right, what the Eagles did to the Chiefs. Think about it for a sec. All right. So, yeah, let's get into it because, man, we got so much to go over with everything today, from signings to comp picks to, and let's start here because this news started breaking last night. Joey Bosa. We were all pulling our hair out being like, oh my Lord, please God, no. Oh my, don't happen. Don't let it go down. Don't let it go down. Don't give Joey Bosa. All right. And then, we were especially mad when we were like, okay, Dre Greenlaw was about a little over $11 million a year. You want to give this guy $10-ish million a year to Joey Bosa? Are you crazy? So let's go over what's happened in the last, 20 hours regarding this, okay? So, a lot has gone on. So, here we go. So, it started off last night, 10:48 p.m. Mike Silver, he quote tweeted his own tweet just before that said the 49ers and Dolphins have each made offers to free agent edge rusher Joey Bosa in the same relative price range. He'd get less than $10 million in 2025 in either scenario. Then he quote tweeted himself and said Bosa's father, John, played for the Dolphins. Obviously, his youngest brother plays for the 49ers, which, I mean, is that really news? We all knew this. So then it keeps going. This is like an hour later now, yesterday. I talked to someone familiar with these discussions who disputes that any offer was made by the 49ers and insists that these numbers are wrong. These are fluid discussions and obviously proposal scenarios can change. It's possible Bosa will get more than $10 million from a team. So all of a sudden it went from, it's going to be less than $10 million to now it's not. They took an hour and he rectified his own tweets. So let's keep it rolling. Slick Rick. Also, Pretty Ricky. He's a legend in these parts. He's my buddy. We talk in the DMs. He's a good dude. He said, and he's been right all free agency, he said Joey Bosa is joining his brother on the 49ers. So, I mean, you could take Pretty Ricky to the bank. And you know why you could take Pretty Ricky to the bank? Because that tweet was at about like 120, right? In terms of what happened there. All right. Do you know what happened about? Let me look at the time. Let me get the time right. Where were you, buddy? He was 125. Do you know what happened 3 minutes later? Leonard Floyd got released. The 49ers then turned around and they released Leonard Floyd, who turned around and signed a 1-year deal for $10 million quicker than a hiccup to go to Atlanta. So they clearly knew that was coming if he had a deal lined up. Leonard Floyd got cut 3 minutes after Pretty Ricky tweeted that out. Adam Schefter announced, goodbye, Leonard Floyd. So there you go. Joey Bosa, the room's been made. It looks like someone in the chat said, and they're 110% right, we didn't miss out on Joey Bosa. We dodged a bullet with Joey Bosa. Okay? So, and I told y'all this was craziness. I told all of y'all we should be in on a guy like Azeez Ojulari. He's cheap. He is cheap. This guy set the rookie franchise record for the Giants for sacks. 8.5 as a rookie. But what happened? The coaching staff wasn't good. They didn't develop him as a run stopper. They drove his confidence into the ground. I believe he only had 6 sacks as a sophomore. And, you go give me Azeez Ojulari with 1 year under Anthony Weaver after what I saw Anthony Weaver just cook up with Chop Robinson. Let's go. And Ojulari's going to be like $5 or $6 million with crazy upside. I'm not going to lie to you. I would sign him to a 2-year deal. I would sign him to like 2 years, $10 million or $12 million. So $5 or $6 million a year. Give all that money up front so I can get out after 1 year if it doesn't work. But I would be signing that 2-year deal that if it does work in year 1 and you see the growth and the development, Phillips can't hold you by the shorts and curls for money because you got to see, he might not be Jalen Phillips, but you got another option in your, and then what does this say about I'm surprised that, trying to chase Joey Bosa like this. Man, I'm more intrigued with what Grayson Murphy might be as a pro. This guy led the FBS in pressures coming out when you got him. You went and tendered Cameron Good, who's coming off a major injury. Y'all took Mo Kamara, who the one game you did let him start, he was tied for the team lead in pressures. Let's get some youth in here, baby. Not a guy in Joey Bosa, who hasn't had double-digit sacks since 2021, hasn't played 16 games or more since 2021, and has only played 16 games or more 3 times in his career. Miss me with that. No. So, You know, it's listen, Dennis, you're going to want to hear my Patreon update that's coming then. That's all I got to say. All right. That's all I'm going to say to you. So now, continuing on, we did get, and we're going to get into all the stuff that happened today, but let's just go through this here. We did get some contract details on James Daniels as well as Zach Wilson Jr. Zach Wilson. Dolphins 3-year, $24 million deal with James Daniels is $10.735 guaranteed, $6 million signing bonus. Salaries are $1.255 million guaranteed, $6.496 million, $3.48 million of that is guaranteed for injury at signing. Skill cap, if on roster third day of 2026, when the league year opens, he's guaranteed $6.5 million, $80,882 per game active roster bonus in 2026 and 2027. So there you go. 2026, they can get out. Guys, they set themselves up where they can get out of James Daniels after 1 year. They can literally get out after it after this season. That's what that 2026 league year, $6.5 million. If he's on the roster the third day of the 2026 league year, which would be the third day that basically after free agency opens, he is guaranteed $6.5 million. Now, Zach Wilson, 1 year, $6 million deal, has a max value of $10 million. $4.75 million signing bonus. A fully guaranteed $1.25 million. Up to $4 million in playtime, wins, and playoff incentives. I've said my piece on this. The fact that Jimmy G has to hit incentives to make more money than Zach Wilson's fully guaranteed base salary and signing bonus of $6 million, that fully guaranteed money is crazy to me. Okay? I said this before, I'll say it again. Last time I'm going to say it. Jarrett Stidham was the top paid backup in 2024. He made $7 million. Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew made $8 million, but they were signed on to be starters or bridge guys, so they weren't technically backups. The top paid backup with intent was Jarrett Stidham at $7 million a year. The Broncos brought him back on a 2-year deal, $12 million, $6 million a year. He took $1 million pay cut. Who was their QB3? Zach Wilson. They let him walk for the same cost of Jarrett Stidham. So Sean Payton is telling you who he thinks is better. That Jarrett Stidham, he can win more games with Jarrett Stidham than he can. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Sean Payton, why did he hate Russell Wilson? Because Russell Wilson doesn't play in structure. He's not strong in structure. He likes to play out of structure. That's where he thrives. What do you think Zach Wilson is? Yeah, he's got arm talent for days. Yeah, he's got a bazooka for days. Yeah, he's got that elasticity where he can make the throws on all the different angles and platforms. That's great. But when it comes to, you got to sit in that pocket, make your reads, go through your progressions, and make your throws. Zach Wilson is not good at that. So, and what is Sean Payton telling you? Jarrett Stidham does that better. That's what he's telling you. But we went and gave this guy, we made him the top paid backup in the NFL in terms of guaranteed money. Crazy. And I hope they draft McCord. I hope they draft Curtis Rourke. Hell, I hope they draft my boy Seth Hennigan. Man, I hope Tyler Show is there, maybe. I hope they get one of those guys and they come in and they beat out Zach Wilson. I will laugh my face off. I'm with you, Reese, because I think McCord would 110% beat out Zach Wilson Jr. Why do I keep calling him Junior? Well, he might as well. A little guy. He looks like a junior. He looks like he's 15 years old. Let's just call him Junior. That's his new name. From now on, when you hear me call someone Junior, I'm talking about Zach Wilson Jr. That's been... Brian, Brady Cook might even beat this guy out. I'm not even... After what I just saw him testing... Brady Cook may even beat him out. I'm with you, Reese. Aziz signing would become my favorite signing. Low-key, contingent to money. I agree, man. I agree. Everyone in the chat, I want you to... Let's give William a little bit of a crash course on Quinn Ewers. All right? William, ask the people in the chat what I've been warning them about Quinn Ewers since September. Ask them. What have I been warning? I've been warning everyone, end of August, early September. I've been warning every single Dolphin fan that watches me exactly what Mike C just said. Mike is going to love him. They're high on him. They're high on him. Brother, I'm telling you, Quinn Ewers, I've been saying it since late August, early September. That's watch out. That's a Mike McDaniel guy. I've been saying this for months and months. Listen, I was coming out here in August and declaring my guys as Jackson Dart and Garrett Nussmeier. Jackson Dart, we've seen climb. He's my QB2. We've seen him climb the boards. Garrett Nussmeier and Drew Aller are QB1 and QB2 for next year. But at the same breath, when I was saying that, I was saying they are going to love Quinn Ewers. That's their guy. Watch. That's a Mike guy. I'm telling you, man. And you know what? Oh, no. Oh, brother. I'm not attacking you or anything. I'm just having fun with you. But continuing on with that, William, check this one out. I'll do you one better. That was the quarterback. Now, everyone was already coming away talking about Jackson Dart, as the QB2. Everyone was already talking about Tyler Show and his traits, but his age. Quinn Ewers was the one everyone was coming away from the combine. That's who everyone was talking about in terms of scouting circles, NFL circles. Quinn Ewers is going higher than people think. I'm telling you right now, get ready for that. Get ready for it. He's going higher than people think. Because, listen, I haven't put out my big board yet, but it's pretty much set in stone, and that's the guy I struggled with. Because he can fall anywhere from 4 to 7 when my final quarterback big board comes out. Quarterback's going to be the first big board I do, because I'm going to tell you this much. Raise your hand if Zach Wilson is stopping you from drafting a quarterback on day 3 if the right guy is there, or hell, if the right guy's there in round 4. It ain't stopping me. Sorry, Zach Jr. My bad, Jr. All right? So, Junior ain't stopping me. Let me tell you that. All right? And I'll start calling him by his legal name, when he earns it. So let's get into the free agent moves today for the Miami Dolphins. All right. Let's get into all of this. Let's start off with, let's start off with the free agent moves today. And they started off with a big one. Because, listen, I tweeted out yesterday, right before they signed James Daniels, I said, right now, I would try and get one of the top guards, and then I would pivot to safety. I literally tweeted this out about 5 minutes before they signed James Daniels yesterday. And what have they done? That's exactly what they did. And this man was on my list of 10 guys I would target that were left at the safety market right before we signed James Daniels yesterday. Former Lions 3rd round pick Ifeatu Melifonwu reached an agreement on a 1-year, $4 million contract with the Miami Dolphins. Deal negotiated by Sean Stillato of Stillato Sports. Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. If he is healthy, this is a fantastic signing. If he stays healthy. All right? If he stays healthy. Melifonwu, 2023, he really started ascending before he got hurt. He took over one of the starting safety roles with the Lions before he got hurt. I actually think this is low-key. If he stays healthy, and hey, I get it. You don't got to tell me if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all live a wonderful life. You don't got to tell me. I get it.
But, I mean, Melifonwu, I mean, he's a beast. He is a beast when he plays, man. Like, and again, the thing is, it's just injuries. You know, he's got 2 picks, 13 passes defended, and 2 fumble recoveries in 4 years. And that's only in 14 starts and 37 games. He also can give you flexibility out on the boundary as a cornerback. Really good in coverage. Really good in coverage. But, I mean, you look at put on that 2023 tape, man, when he started ascending. Like, there were really high hopes in Detroit for him last year, and he got injured again. But, I mean, he started ascending in 2023, and he was good. But, listen, I'm not going to sit here and, you know, he needs to stay healthy. If this guy stays healthy, you're going to have similar, you remember where we got, you know, Deshaun Elliott was a lot better than we thought he would be, blah, 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 blah. That's what Melifonwu, that's exactly what he'll be. The same scenario. He'll come over here cheap. If he stays healthy, he'll outperform the contract, and people will love him. Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. That's why he only signed, I'm telling you, that's why his representation only signed a 1-year deal. Because they know if he stays healthy, he's getting re-upped. They know it. So, like, that's, you know, that's on his side. I don't even think that's on the Dolphin side. You know, I think that's just it's smart. Right? Like, I don't know what else. It's smart. So, he's just betting on himself. He's taking a chance. So, I mean, listen, again, they've drafted some good guys who just haven't been able to stay healthy back there. Like, that's been a really Achilles heel for Detroit, right? But I mean, I'm telling you, man, you look at Melifonwu, I mean, he's a good athlete too, man. You know, talking about a guy, he's like 6'2.5", a little over 200 pounds, but 210, right? 205, 210. You know, man, I don't know if you guys looked up his RAS, but I mean, he had a 41.5-inch vertical, an 11-foot broad jump, you know, ran a 4.48 40, 2.57 20-yard split, 1.48 10-yard split. I mean, you know, he's a really good athlete. Now, his agility obviously isn't his strong suit, but he's a good athlete, man. So, yeah, the problem is, again, he's got to stay healthy. We told you this. I mean, we literally did a video. Are the Dolphins going to be bargain bin shoppers a couple days before free agency? So no one should be shocked. No one should be shocked that Ifeatu Melifonwu is one of the guys they chased. I'm telling you, he's a great athlete that just needs to stay healthy. That's it. So, and if he does, we're all going to look at, well, I don't know. You know, that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think anyone's going to look at Chris Greer as a genius, but, you know, like that will be, everyone will look back on that if he stays healthy and be like, okay, you know, you knocked it out of the park with that pick. That's how I see it, at least. But again, it comes down to, is he going to stay healthy? Like, that's literally what it comes down to. It's literally what it comes down to. Is he going to stay healthy? Because even when he looked like he was going to break out in 2023, he got hurt. And the breakout ended because he got hurt. So, we'll see. But again, the safety class, huh? Now, the Miami Dolphins, they also continue a move that I said they were going to do. It just made too much sense. They went ahead and they brought back Elijah Campbell on a 1-year, $1.9 million deal. So, I mean, we knew that was going to happen. He contributes on special teams. You know, they like him as a young ascending player. I know I see people, they want Xavier Watts at 48. I guess I'd be down. He's my fourth safety. I got Makuba at 3. And then I got Winston at 5. I mean, if you're going to roll the dice on someone later, I mean, I guess I'd like Hunter Waller from Wisconsin, like I've told you guys. But, you look at Sebastian Castro, his testing, he was like the worst testing safety ever at the combine, So I know everyone's excited about Billy Bowman and his testing. And, man, the ceiling is high for Billy Bowman. But watch the tape, man. That guy is not a good tackler at all. Ransom's okay. I don't think, I think Ransom's okay. I don't think he's, here's my thing. Once you get outside of the top 5, being Amalwari, Starks, Makuba, Watts, and Winston, I think it pretty much gets weak. I think it's a very, very, Jonas Sanker's all right. I think it's a very top-heavy class. That's just my opinion. Those skunk ape, that's exactly why I don't want them. I still got nightmares about that Green Bay game. That's why I don't want Billy Bowman. Oh, man. But I see the ceiling. He's a great athlete and stuff, so I see the ceiling. I don't want Sebastian Castro. I'm good. I don't want Sebastian Castro. That testing was the worst testing ever. Yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry, Russell. We'll get there. Don't worry. I'll read your donation when we get there. Bro, chronological order, huh? So, let's keep it going here. The Miami Dolphins, they brought back Quinton Bell on a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. Also another Drew Rosenhaus client. I like how Dave Mulgietta clients from the Athletic Athletes First are dwindling, while Drew Rosenhaus clients keep rising in Miami. Jesus. It is what it is. At this point, I look at him as a camp body. There's nothing to guarantee with a guy like Quinton Bell. I mean, all the hype these people are trying to feed us in the offseason about him, and then I went out there and I watched with my own eyes at camp, and I'm like, what is this? What are we talking about right now? And same thing with the Tanner Connor stuff, all this hype, and what are we talking about right now? Got hurt again. So it's the same thing with Quinton Bell. $1.5 million, low cost, maybe mid reward. I don't know. It is what it is with Quinton Bell. Now, let's get into the juicy stuff. And it all started about an hour before I went live. The Miami Dolphins, they agreed to terms with Nick Westbrook-Ikhine on a 2-year, $6.5 million deal with $3.2 million guaranteed, reported Mike Garofalo and Tom Pelissero. Coming off a career-high 9 receiving touchdowns last season, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine is on his way to Miami. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I low-key kind of like this signing. I was actually struggling between him and like Diami Brown putting on my list of my free agents, top 30 free agents, which over a third of it was offensive lineup because he needed it so bad. But, I'm a fan of this move. I honestly am. I think this kid, well, I don't want to say kid, but I think he's a good player, man. I think that's a solid, 3-4 option between Malik, And I mean, look at the guys he had throwing to him. Hell, I was a big Will Levis guy, but we all know how that's gone. Look at the guys he's had throwing to him. Think about his career average too. His career average per reception is like 14.1 yards. He has 1,773 yards on 126 receptions and 19 touchdowns on 126 receptions. And he only has 1 fumble in his 5-year career. I think this is low-key a really, really good. I mean, I don't know, man. I think this is legit. I think this is a low-key really solid signing. I really do. And I got to give them their, that's a good use of money, right? Like I'll sit here and I'll say that's a good use of money. All right? Like that's a good use of money. I can get down with that. A nice 6'3" receiver, about 195, 200 pounds. I'm down with that. Let's go. I mean, think about this. At one point last year, he scored on like 40% of his catches. That's crazy. Like that is really, really good. So yeah, I'm like count reason in as a guy who really likes this signing, and low key is like, okay, this is what you need. And again, they put themselves in a position where you don't have to take a Ted McMillan. You don't have to take one of those guys. You put yourself in a really strong position. So I'm a big fan of that. I know he's only like a 4'5", 4'6" guy. I know that's what the deal is with him. He's like a 4'6"? Like he's not the best athlete in the world. You know what I mean? So, but man, he gets things done and he catches footballs and he scores. I mean, now you have a legitimate option in the red zone. Now you got someone you can throw those fades to that you love, Mikey boy. I think this is a really good signing. I really actually do. I gave James Daniels an A. This is like a B+ signing. It's a good one. I'm in on this. I think for number 3 and the price you paid, man, and I want to see that structure because I guarantee that structure where they can get out of it after 1 year. 110%, I guarantee it's structured like that. So I think you've added a legitimate number 3 option, and obviously they're moving forward. With Malik as, the number 3/4, and Westbrook-Ikhine will be the 3/4 as well. But, the return duties will be on our boy Malik now after what he did last year. So, again, look at the quarterbacks this guy's played with. I think this is going to... I think this is like just a perfect complementary piece, right? I think this guy, what did we want OBJ for last year? OBJ for is what we wanted, a third down converter. Last year, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine converted 9 third downs on only 21 targets, and 9 of those conversions were for touchdowns. Like, that's crazy. That is like unbelievable stuff. So, I think this, I think this is a very, very, very low key good signing. So, if he can continue building off what he built with guys like Will Levis and Mason Rudolph throwing to him. I mean, he put up 497 yards. I gotta double check. I think he put up 497 yards. 497 yards, 370 the year before, 397 the year before that. If you could put up 497 with that and 9 touchdowns, might I add you, with that wonky of a quarterback situation in Tennessee, what are you gonna do with Tua? And I love what Eddie just said. Eddie pretty much nailed it. He's what Chosen should have been. And Tori's right. And he's only 26. So, yeah, I'm a fan of this move. Big fan of this move. This is up there on one of my favorite moves of free agency so far. I think James Daniels was the best move. I would put Nick Westbrook-Ikhine right up there as well, right under there. So hey, I'd put it missing out on Joey Bosa up there too. So, but let's keep it rolling. yeah, William, again, 9 touchdowns. William, he only had 32 receptions. Think about that. 9 touchdowns on 32 receptions. That's pretty freaking good, if you ask me, huh? That's ridiculous. So, yeah, Chosen was more of a vertical, like a field stretcher, right? So, yeah. Anyways, so, and he can get you in, and like I said, he converted 9 third downs last year, and 6 of those conversions were for touchdowns. You got a guy who can score you touchdowns, man. Let's go. Let's go. I like it. It's low-key a really, really strong signing. At least that's what I think. So, I know there'll be the detractors and the haters, but it is what it is. And then the Miami Dolphins, as Russell wanted me to point out, they were not done adding to their team, and specifically to the safety room, minutes after announcing Nick Westbrook-Ikhine was signed. Ashtyn Davis finalized a deal with the Miami Dolphins per Jordan Schultz. Ashtyn Davis has 8 career interceptions. Listen, I loved Ashtyn Davis coming out. Everyone remembers when Gase took him in front of us, I was so pissed off that we missed out on Ashtyn Davis. I loved him coming out of Cal. Do y'all remember? Go put on, if you want to watch Ashtyn Davis and what is, oh my God, under Weaver. Go watch Cal versus Oregon in Justin Herbert's last year at Oregon. Ashtyn, you know what I came away saying? And I think I said it on the Tuesday night panel. If Justin Herbert's a top 10 pick, then so is Ashtyn Davis. He owned Justin Herbert in that game. He had 2 picks, and he was lighting guys up over the middle. Ashtyn Davis don't joke around. Ashtyn Davis, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He lays the lumber when he can, man. Like, I know he's not the blitzer that like a Jevon Holland was, but you can find some plays of him blitzing and lighting the quarterback up. Lighting them up. Like, listen. This is not, is he as good as Jevon Holland in his prime and peak? No. No, I don't think he is. And I do think if they both stay healthy, Ifeatu Melifonwu, he probably has the higher ceiling as a player. But I like this. And what are they doing again? They're putting themselves in a position where if they miss out on one of those top safeties, they're not like, we're totally screwed. So, and again, what do these do? These are just like what I said with Zach Wilson. Would either one of those safeties stop you from drafting the right guy if he fell in your lap? No, it wouldn't. Man, Warriors, your number 1 player on the board, come 13. Would any one of those safeties? No, and you can include Patrick Morris in there too. Because that's another guy people are forgetting we got. So now we've got 4 safeties, right? We've got Ashtyn Davis, Ifeatu Melifonwu, Elijah Campbell, and Patrick McMorris. So, I like where they're at right now. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Does Nick Westbrook-Ikhine or Malik Washington stop you from drafting a guy in round 4 or whatever the case may be is on day 3? Does if the right guy falls to you? No, they don't. In a deep wide receiver class. Like that's the thing. That's why I like you've added talent that can not only contribute and help you out, but also won't hold you back from upgrading if the right guys look what they're doing with their moves. They're keeping their options open in the draft. And it's smart. I will give them their credit. It is smart. All right? I will give them their credit. So here we go. Another thing that happened today too, the Miami Dolphins, the NFL announced the compensatory picks. So we know officially everything that's going down. The NFL on Tuesday awarded the Dolphins 4 additional picks in April's NFL draft as compensation for losing several free agents last offseason. The Dolphins were awarded a 3rd-round pick for losing Robert Hunt to Carolina, a 4th-round pick for losing Christian Wilkins to Vegas, which could have been a 3rd-round pick if the guy didn't get hurt, and 2 7th-round picks, which were given to Miami as part of a complicated formula that rewards teams for losing more players than they signed in free agency. Miami lost 7 compensatory free agents last offseason. Wilkins, Hunt, Deshaun Elliott, Andrew Van Ginkel, Raekwon Davis, Brandon Jones, and Cedric Wilson Jr. The pick for losing Wilkins was originally expected to be a 3rd, but instead became a 4th after Wilkins sustained a season-ending injury that limited to 5 games and 247 snaps. Those 4 picks leave the Dolphins with 11 picks. The 3rd-round pick will be the 98th overall, and the 4th-round pick will be 135th. The 7th-round picks will be 253 and 256. Miami also has its own picks in the 1st. The 13th pick, a 2nd-round pick at 48, a 4th round at 114th, a 5th-round pick at 151, and a 7th-round pick at 232. From previous trades, the Dolphins have a 5th-round pick from Denver at number 156 and a 7th-round pick from Chicago at 226. The Dolphins traded their own 3rd-round pick to Philadelphia during a draft day trade-up for running back Jaylen Wright last April. Baltimore, Dallas, and the Dolphins were the 3 teams that received 4 compensatory picks. So, there you go. Now the Miami Dolphins have 11 picks in the draft. So, a little bit more clarity for each and every one of you guys. That's 11 picks for the Miami Dolphins in the draft. That is a lot of picks. That is a lot of picks. My Lord. So, just to recap, all right? The Miami Dolphins have the 13th pick. They have the 48th pick. They have the 98th pick. Okay? They got the 114th pick. All right? Then they got the 135th pick. Then they got 151. All right? Then they got 156 as well. I mean, and then they got a whole bunch of 7s. Right? Then they got 232, 253, 256, and they got 226. So they got like 4 7th-round picks. And I'm going to tell you this right now. That gap from 48 to 98 is too wide. We need something in there. The bread and butter of this draft is from 25 to 100. You need another pick in there. I don't know what, but like 7th rounders are just glorified UDFAs. Shout out to Penn. She came through and gifted 5 Phinside The NFL memberships to Robert, Eddie, Adam, JDM Wizard, and Joe305. Appreciate you for growing the Phinside fam here, Penn, especially when I'll have a Patreon and channel member update coming this week. Shout out to Joe. He says, congrats on 17K. Thanks for the year-round content. Thanks for the year-round support to you and everyone else, Joe. Thank you so much. So, yeah, we got a lot of picks, but we need to get in. We need to find a way. And that's why I'm telling you, if Kenneth Grant's gone, if Will Johnson's gone, if Will Campbell, Armand Membo are gone, if I don't know, man, I would really consider, depending on what that board looks like, I would be down for a trade back, depending on what the board looks like. Now, if 4 quarterbacks go in the top 10, don't trade back because a blue chip player is going to fall to you. So it just all depends. Like if Cam Ward is the only quarterback that goes and Shedeur falls out of the top 10, it might be slim. You know what I mean? And then, like I'm telling you, like if Ashtyn Jeanty is like your highest rated player on your board, trade back. Try and get someone to move up for that running back. But he may be gone now. The Raiders make a ton of sense. Let me tell you that. So, guys, smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new. I appreciate all of you for coming through. Over 750 of you in the room right now. Please do me the favor. Smash that like button. I will be back tomorrow no matter what. If there's breaking news, I'll be here with it. If not, then I might be back with ball game and Richmond for the finish line. It all depends on how the day goes in terms of free agent signings and such. So, because if a big move happens, I'll be live. But we'll figure it out, and we'll let you know tomorrow. I will be live. Expect me. All right? Appreciate y'all. Smash that like button. Smash, smash, smash. Let's get to 20K because I want to give away something to 5 different people. All right? Fins up all day, every day. We'll see y'all on the next one. Stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed, people.